And yes, you're right to be impressed by that segue. I want to talk about this album, which is clearly composed and written by a bunch of guys that knew what they wanted to do and knew what they were making. This is your first concept album, right? We can call it a concept album.
Yeah, the concept kind of got tagged by the press, but it was definitely conceptual in the way that it was made. But we weren't trying to make, you know, a Tommy or we weren't trying to make a concept record that was necessarily a concept record in terms of like storyline. But there's obviously a bunch of cohesive elements that all work together.
There's a clear through, there's a thematic thing happening here. There's obvious different themes and stuff, which I guess begs the question, was the goal to make not necessarily a concept album, but to have this cohesive theme? Were there other themes you guys thought about? What was it about this theme that led you to this record and how you guys got here?
Well, I don't know if at the beginning we weren't thinking about space and artificial intelligence as necessarily working as a concept, but obviously it all plays into like human elements and some of the bigger questions we have. And the way I always was able to kind of piece it together was artificial intelligence may be the answer to us exploring more into the cosmos. So for me, that kind of always tied together, and you know, I've read a lot of books on both subjects. And the human brain probably isn't going to figure out things quick enough to actually explore or to get outside of this little bubble we're in here in our solar system. So intelligence from another source might be the answer to that. Something might be able to figure it out for us. And so that's why it all kind of played together, and we were able to make all these songs that kind of deal with different aspects of the human condition and the human, you know, story and where we're going.
And the way you spoke to that so eloquently, obviously, I anticipated that based on the lyrical content and all that. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but for you, was this an album a way to get Matt to stop telling you about AI because of all the books he read? Was like, let's just get it out of your system, man? Or no, were you kind of intrigued by the theme as well, and you were looking to do things similarly, sonically, in a musical way?
Definitely intrigued.
Yeah.
Same way. You know, we often like, after writing sessions, we'd be sitting around and just talking about it. You know, we quickly discovered that we all were kind of into the same things. We were all reading the same stuff and watching the same shows about it and everything like that, and sitting around a fire at this guy's house and just talking about it. And then we realized that we had this common idea.
Sitting around a fire sounds kind of
pondering. What? Hey, sit around a fire, you know? Hey, everyone's been in front of a fire.
To be honest,
roasting marshmallows,
you know,
sticks, just like it's an adorable night.
All these guys actually know a lot about this stuff, and we just have discussions. So it wasn't all me, but like I was actually more enlightened by the conversations we would have every day about different things that everyone was bringing to the table. Like, oh, do you know about this? Or have you heard about this theory? Have you read this book? So a lot of it was that, and there was the U.S. elections were going on, and that was just so crazy at the time. Like, just what was going on in the world was just so wacky that we were having a good time with that as well.
Yeah, thank God we're through with the wackiness, right?
Oh yeah,
we made it through.
It's all done. Huh?
Thank God we're on the other side of the wackiness.
Yeah. So you basically had this weird environment where every day we're watching CNN would be in the background with another crazy headline, and everything was just so crazy that it made for a really interesting album. I think we reflected that pretty well, as artists should. The time we were writing this record, we'd sit there and talk about all these things, and the music got weirder and the lyrical content got crazier, and now we're here. And then we decided to go and release it without promoting it. So.